Hey everybody, today is Monday, September 12th. Let me talk to you a little bit about what we did in class today. I'll just give you kind of a review and then let you know what I need you to do so that you're ready for tomorrow. So first things first, our bell warmer today looked a little bit like this. I want you, and I know if you're not here, it may be because you're not feeling well. So please do this when you feel better, okay? I want you to take a look at the objective for today. The objective is, listen, I can compare and contrast the rocky planets. I can compare and contrast the rocky planets. That's our objective for today and also for tomorrow. And so I want you to go to your Geology on Mars folder in Schoology. If you don't have one yet, make one. So go into Schoology and then create a folder, title it GOM, that stands for Geology on Mars. And then once you are in that folder, I want you to create a blank notebook. This is what you're going to be writing your the responses to some of our warm-up activities will be in this notebook, okay? So then at the top of the first page, I want you to write today's date, so September 12th, and I want you to write, write the objective on the first page. That way we know what you're responding about. So again, the objective is I can compare and contrast the rocky planets. And then I just want you to write, give me at least one sentence where you're telling me what you already know about the 4 rocky planets. Go ahead and pause this video until you're finished with that. Okay, so now that you are finished with your bell ringer, I want you to log on to Amplify. And today in Amplify, you are going to see that we are in Chapter 1, Lesson 1, and it's called Comparing Rocky Planets. And listen, I'm going to go through this just really quickly for you. We talked today about how we're looking at the night sky. Lots of people wonder, is there life out there other than life on planet Earth? And so we're going to look to see what kinds of things do we need in order to support life. So what would another planet have to have in order to sustain life? And then we're going to compare the 4 rocky planets together. Okay, so I'm going to skip through a couple of these things really quickly. We talked about what it meant for a planet to be habitable. I created a list on the board. The kids were talking about in order for a planet to sustain life, it has to have the sun, it has to have food, it has to have water, it has to have like animals and plants, and it has to have, like the kids just came up with a whole bunch of lists of things that a planet would have to have. And so I want you to think about that. What do you think a planet would have to have? And then move on. So our unit question is, how can we search for evidence that other planets were once habitable? Scientists can't just look at a planet and go, okay, I choose that planet. Let's go on and take a look. We have to have some kind of evidence beforehand, or at least some kind of reason for us to look at a planet. And that's what we're going to be studying this entire unit. We're looking at rocky planets, which, as you know, are any planet with a solid surface, such as Earth or Mars. And we talked about how the 4 rocky planets are here. So here's Earth. And we're not looking at the gas planets because they don't share any characteristics to Earth. We're looking at these 4 here, or these 3, I guess, because they share the most characteristics with Earth. So we did an activity. We're looking at a system where we look at how Earth is actually divided up into 4 spheres. We've got the hydrosphere. If you look at the prefix hydro, also look at the picture. This is any part of Earth having to do with water. So it's wherever we can find water on Earth, and we can find it in rivers and lakes and oceans and streams. We can find it in solid form, in the form of ice, and we find it in different kinds of precipitation. So like rain, snow, sleet, hail. That's the hydrosphere. The Earth is also made up of an atmosphere, and that's all the gases that surround Earth. And we have oxygen and nitrogen make up 99% of all the gases. And then within that 1% of other gases, there's like carbon dioxide, there's methane. There's even water vapor. So water exists here too in the atmosphere. In the geosphere, the prefix geo refers back to the rocky planet. It's the rocky, it's the solid outer layer around a planet. So this has to do with rocks, soil, sand. And then lastly, we've got the biosphere. The last part of this system is the biosphere. Biosphere is anything, any part on Earth that is living. The prefix bio means living. So we've got animals, people, plants, but you also have like fungi. We have bacteria. So you've got multicellular complex organelles like people or animals or plants. And then you have just really simple single cellular organelles like bacteria. And all of these four parts make up the Earth system. So what we did is we got into groups and the kids were given cards, okay? These cards right here. And they were meant to compare the atmosphere of all four planets, or the geosphere of all four planets, or the hydrosphere of all four planets, or the biosphere of all four planets. And so they were supposed to take a look at Earth first, understand what Earth has, and then look at the other three planets to find out how are they similar or how are they different from Earth. Okay, and then while they were reading those, they filled out this questionnaire on activity 3 in lesson 1.1. Now, you cannot do this because you don't have the cards. But when you come back, you're going to be a part of the conversation where I'm going to have the kids share their findings with you so that you know what the different spheres are like on the other planets. And then lastly, we watched a video in which this woman here, she's a planetary geologist, which is what your role is in this unit. And she is in Arizona, and she's looking at all of the rocks, and she's looking at the geologic processes like the erosion of when water is moving through the rocks. What does that look like? And so she just talks about using her senses. She talks about the two things that are most important for life on Earth, and that is liquid water, and it's the sun. And so we're putting together all of the information that we learned to compare and contrast those planets again. And if we were looking at Earth, Mars, and other rocky planets, we know that they can be thought of as a system. And these systems are made up of interacting spheres that include the geosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. Now, this is your first key concept. And so I want you to write down key concept number 1, and you're going to write that down on your key concept graphic organizer. And if you can't remember where that is, the last day of August, August 31st, I had you make a folder in GoodNotes called Geology on Mars, GOM. And then I had you save that graphic organizer in there. If you don't have it, I do have it. I've included it in today's folder. So here's Monday the 12th. And you're going to see we've got Geology on Mars Key Concept Graphic Organizer. So if you don't have it, this is what it looks like. So then you're going to write that key concept right here for key concept number 1. Write that word for word in there. I'm going to bring it back so you can see it. Okay. Go ahead and pause this video, get that written down, and then that's it for you. Go ahead and please make sure that you are studying your vocab. The pop quiz will be happening shortly, pretty quick actually, and so you want to make sure that you are ready for it. Study your vocab. As far as the format of the quiz, it's going to be, I just give you the word and you have to fill in the definition. So please make sure that you're doing that, okay? If you have any questions about what we did today, don't hesitate to email me. Let me know that you've got some questions, and then when you come back, I can answer those questions real easy for you, okay? All right, have a great day. Hope to see you tomorrow.